This next step is optional, but I recommend it if you have extremely shifty fabric or fabric that tends to fray easily. Basically, you are going to finish the seam allowances that you created when you sewed your welt. So they tend to stick together a little bit depending on the type of interfacing you use, but you need to separate the welt facing so that you have these two seam allowances visible, and then you can serge, or however you finish seam allowances, these two together. Note that the one underneath is not the same length or shape, but if you start here and serge all the way down, you will catch this one in that seam. Make sure you do not catch the jacket, and make sure you do not catch the welt facing. The other one is when you lift up your pocket. You should have the pocket, one side of the welt lip, the other side of the welt lip, and the jacket. So that's 4 pieces of fabric that if you wanted to, you could come in here, isolate these, and serge all the way down. Again, the jacket opening obviously has the cuts there, so it's not the same length or shape, but you could serge that entire thing. But just note that if you skip this step, nothing will be visible, because the next step, as you can see, if you did all of this correctly, you have a really nice pocket shape. It's going to be to come in here, face up, and put the pocket on. So in the long run, none of this is going to be visible, but it will be accessible if you fold everything down. You know, these will be able to fray. So just consider that most of them are interfaced, and interfaced edges also tend not to fray, so it really is optional, but for very, very best practices, I recommend that you finish both of those seam allowances. So here I have finished those seam allowances. You can see I serged those 2 together, and I serged all 4 of those together, and I did not cut my jacket with my serger knife, so that's great.